My name is Alexandre Livingstone Smith. I work at the section of prehistory and archaeology of the Royal Museum for Central Africa. I study pottery. This means that I use potsherds to reconstruct the identity and the ways of life of past people. A museum is mainly known because it's an object repository. Clearly, objects are very important. Here at the section of prehistory, there are over 100,000 objects which have been stored here, but these objects are almost worthless without the archives that provide a context on the way these objects arrived here, how they were discovered, who discovered them at what time, etc., etc. The library is also extremely important in the section. It is a specialized library in African archaeology. And finally, another aspect of the section which is extremely important, it's people. The different members of the section, from the keeper of collection to my colleague Els Cornelissen, who specializes in lithics, in stone tools. Every person in the section has also an expertise, and it is this expertise, along with the archives of the objects, along with the specialists in other sections of the museum, which constitute the expertise in archaeology at the Royal Museum for Central Africa. A good example of the collections held here at the section of prehistory and archaeology of the Royal Museum for Central Africa is this collection of vessels coming from the Upemba Depression in central Katanga in DRC. These vessels were excavated in tombs, and they are a testimony to the society that existed in central Katanga between the 11th and the 13th century of our era. This society was complex, with great chiefs, and had a trade which extended to the Indian Ocean on one side and the Atlantic on the other side. Working in African archaeology means, first of all, working in very, very different environments. Africa is a continent, not a country. And working in African archaeology means that you can be working in the deepest desert of the Sahara, the savanna of Sahel, or the deepest forest of Central Africa. For example, last year we had the opportunity to work in the Democratic Republic of Congo on the Congo River expedition. With my colleagues, we were able to go in this area of northeastern Congo where previously no archaeological work had been done before. And we found plenty of sites in northeastern Congo, on the Congo River between Bumba and Kisangani, and on different rivers which are tributary of the Congo River. Why did I specialize in pottery? For a very simple and practical reason. Pottery is extremely solid. We can find it in many sites in African archaeology, and in fact in all over the world. It is very ancient, and also it is extremely useful because the way of making a pot tells you a lot about the people who made it. And a good thing is also that in Africa today a lot of potters are still working and living, and pottery is still used. So you can learn a lot about ancient ways of doing things, ancient pottery, by actually looking at the way pottery is made today and talking with modern potters. I became an archaeologist because I always wanted to be an archaeologist. So it's a bit of a boring story for a lot of people. Say, oh, when they turn 18, what am I going to do with my life? But for me it never was a big question, because I was born in Greece, and my mother always told me stories about mythology, and I was interested in archaeology since I was a kid. The trouble was eventually turning 18 to actually become one. My parents were a bit frightened that I would never get a job. But here am I, lucky me.